there is this aggressive world of self-improvement where people go like, oh my God, I need to achieve certain things. I need to constantly keep improving myself in order for me to feel worthy. I will go do all this inner work, all this self-improvement stuff. I'll say all these affirmations like a psychopath in front of the mirror, and then I will feel worthy. If this is the case, why you are getting into self-improvement, this kind of reinforces the fact that you feel that you are not worthy. You feel that you are not good enough. You feel like you always need to constantly improve yourself, or else you feel like a complete loser. This is what it reinforces. When you always, feel like, okay, I will improve myself, then I'll feel better. I'll do this, then I'll feel better. I'll achieve this, and then I will feel better. All of this is just, you're just running from one thing after the other, and it's going completely against this concept of self-improvement. Because when does self-improvement end? If you always feel like you need to improve yourself in order to feel safe, in order to feel whole, like, okay, I did my morning routine, I did this workout, then I went, had this clean meal, then I went, did my affirmations, meditated for 4 hours, and now I feel worthy. Now I'm proud of myself. And if you miss this routine, this self-improvement stuff for a day or two, you call yourself a complete fucking loser. Oh my God, like, where does this end? Because that's what you're training your internal self, your subconscious mind, in order to do. Because once you miss a day or two of your self-improvement routine, you feel like shit. You curse yourself. You call yourself an idiot because you haven't lived up to your own expectations. Now that eventually messes you up. Because when does this self-improvement end? That's a question you need to keep asking yourself whenever you go into this world of aggressive self-improvement, just to feel validated by yourself. You're like, okay, I will not take anybody else's opinion, but now you are waiting for your own opinion. Nobody else's opinion matters. It's what is your own opinion about yourself. Do you give yourself love? Do you feel worthy the way you are? Because naturally, when you were a kid, you felt worthy, you felt safe, you felt amazing. But then along the lines, you're like, I have to be good enough. Who do I have to be in order to feel worthy? What should I do in order to feel worthy? What should I improve in order to feel loved? These are baseline states, right? It is baseline. You have to feel safe. You have to, give yourself that love. You have to feel worthy. And of course, there are some situations in life where you are in an unsafe environment. You are in a place that makes you feel unworthy. But all these external things should not allow your internal self to make you feel unworthy. You see that? How deep that goes? Like, of course, they will say things. I mean, on the external, people will say some things which hurt you, which put you in a place where you feel unworthy, where you feel unworthy of love. But that should not put yourself, that should not make you put yourself or make yourself feel unworthy. Now, why I connect this to self-improvement is because self-improvement in a way is amazing. All right, it is good that you're trying to improve yourself. But when it comes to aggressive self-improvement, all you're doing is you're digging a bigger hole for you to fall back in. You're placing your entire self-worth, your entire personality on just self-improvement. What happens here is when you put so much importance on self-improvement, you feel like you need to improve every single minute, every single day. And if you miss a day or two, you feel like shit. You kind of sabotage yourself, you punish yourself, you make yourself feel unworthy. That eventually, backfires or screws up all that internal self-improvement work that you've been doing for so long. Like, from the movie Batman, I became the very thing I swore to destroy, or you became the very thing you swore to destroy. That's what is happening here. You were trying to destroy unworthiness. You're trying to destroy the feeling of being unsafe, the feeling of not being enough, by improving yourself, by working on your internal self, doing certain things. But when that took over that, initial feeling of, okay, I'm safe, I'm loved, when that greed or, that obsession of self-improvement took over you, it's like you became the very thing you swore to destroy. And now, if you don't live up to your own expectations, if you don't go through that self-improvement routine, if you don't keep improving yourself, you feel unworthy. You feel like you don't deserve anything in the world. It's like you became your own enemy. First, you felt like, okay, people were putting 4 walls around me, but now you are putting or building 4 walls around you and trapping yourself. You are the one who's pulling your own leg. So only when you understand this, you have to understand that you are human. We tend to make mistakes. We tend to take things off, and not, putting so much importance on self-improvement is actually a key thing to improve your own mental health. It is a key thing for even the betterment of yourself. Because if you're so aggressive, one day you miss 2 days, 3 days, you feel like a complete loser. And that eventually hurts your internal self, your subconscious mind. You kind of wire it there. You're like, okay, if I miss this, I'm a complete loser. You call yourself a loser. You tell yourself like, okay, I'm not worthy of this. Only if I achieve this, I'll be worthy. And then this reflects outside. You get into a relationship, or you have certain friendships. You're like, okay, I'll do this, and then they will give me that. I'll do this in the relationship, then I will receive love. It becomes conditional. You never receive true love ever again. You're always improving yourself. Okay, anything happens in the relationship, you guys have an argument, you're like, okay, I must improve myself. I must upgrade myself. And then I will show it to her. Then I will show my partner, hey, look, I'm better. I've improved myself. It's not that sometimes. Sometimes you just have to calm down, relax, talk it out, sort it out. Because human emotions are really strong. Emotions such as love, anger, pain, hate are really strong. And when you are putting something logical, such as self-improvement, and when you're mixing it here, it doesn't really go well. Because eventually, your emotions take over your logical brain. Look, no matter how logical you think you are, you still make decisions based out of your emotions. You are attracted to somebody, logic doesn't really work. You go ask them out, you go on a date with them. Sometimes, they might have some red flags, but you still, go continue having a relationship with them because they're attractive. Again, your emotions are taking over. Sometimes you're angry, you make certain decisions. The logical part of your brain is not really, thinking. Sometimes you're really attracted by certain things that you want to buy. Your emotions take over and you go make that purchase. You see, no matter how logical you think you are, eventually your emotions take over you. And that is why when you start getting into this world of aggressive self-improvement, you're just going too logical, and eventually your emotions will take over. Your emotional state, when you miss 2-3 days of self-improvement, when you feel like you have not really lived up to your own expectation, your emotions take over you. And this is the beginning of a journey called self-sabotage. You start sabotaging everything in your life. It's like, it has happened to many people, and it would have happened to you as well. You go through a winter arc. You go through this insane journey of self-improvement. Of course, the initial stages, it's amazing. But once you make it your personality, once you make it your identity, okay, I must always improve myself, you will see like everything starts crumbling down. Your relationships suffer, your friendships suffer, your personal, identity suffers. You showing love to yourself, even that aspect of yourself start to suffer. And eventually everything starts crumbling down. And you have to start back at ground zero. And these are the most, messed up stuff when it comes to aggressive self-improvement. I personally love self-improvement, but when it starts becoming really aggressive, when it starts taking over your personality, your identity, and when you start placing your self-worth over you improving something, then it truly is not self-improvement, but it literally destroys you.